Welcome to Essentially Soulful. Today we break down a complex health topic into practical wisdom. I'm Betty, and we're diving into a fascinating topic that affects every single one of us: stress, and specifically, the hormone behind it all, cortisol. Joining me today is co-host Dr. DeeAnna Nagel. DeeAnna is a licensed psychotherapist, board-certified wellness coach, and certified aromatherapist.
Thank you, Betty. I'm excited to be here and help our listeners understand this crucial but often misunderstood hormone.
You know, DeeAnna, I've always found it fascinating how the same hormone can be both helpful and harmful. It's like having a superpower that can either save the day or cause chaos.
That's actually a perfect analogy, Betty. Cortisol is exactly that, a powerful hormone that can be our best friend or our worst enemy, depending on the circumstances. It's really all about context and timing.
Could you break down for our listeners exactly what cortisol does in our bodies? What makes it so important?
Think of cortisol as your body's built-in alarm system. When you encounter a stressful situation, maybe you're running late for an important meeting or you need to slam on your brakes to avoid an accident, cortisol kicks in to help you respond effectively.
So in those moments, cortisol is actually helping us?
Absolutely. In these acute stress situations, cortisol increases your heart rate, sharpens your focus, and provides quick energy by releasing glucose into your bloodstream. It's preparing your body for that fight or flight response we often hear about.
That sounds incredibly useful. So where does the problem come in?
The problem occurs when our stress becomes chronic. You see, our bodies weren't designed to be in emergency mode all the time. It's like running your car in high gear constantly. Eventually, something's going to wear down.
And I imagine that's happening to a lot of people in our modern world, with constant deadlines, digital notifications, and packed schedules.
Exactly. When cortisol stays elevated for prolonged periods, it can lead to a whole cascade of health issues. We're talking about everything from weight gain and difficulty sleeping to more serious problems like increased blood pressure, compromised immune function, and even memory issues.
Those are some serious consequences. How can someone know if their cortisol levels are chronically elevated?
There are several telltale signs. You might notice you're having trouble sleeping, even when you're exhausted. You might be gaining weight, particularly around your midsection. Many people also report feeling anxious, irritable, or having difficulty concentrating.
I'm sure many of our listeners are recognizing some of these symptoms in themselves right now. It's pretty eye-opening.
Yes, and there's another interesting sign: feeling wired but tired. You might feel exhausted but still can't relax, especially in the evening. This is because chronic stress can actually disrupt your natural cortisol rhythm.
Natural cortisol rhythm. Can you explain what that means?
Our bodies naturally produce more cortisol in the morning to help us wake up and get going. It's highest about 30 minutes after waking. Then it gradually decreases throughout the day, reaching its lowest point at night when we need to sleep.
That's fascinating. So chronic stress can throw off this natural pattern?
Yes. When you're chronically stressed, your cortisol might stay elevated when it should be dropping, or you might not get that natural morning boost. This can leave you feeling tired in the morning, but unable to sleep at night.
I know a lot of people reach for coffee first thing in the morning to get that energy boost. How does that play into this whole system?
That's a great question, Betty. While coffee can give us a quick energy boost, it also stimulates cortisol production. If you're already stressed, adding caffeine can further elevate your cortisol levels. It's like adding fuel to a fire that's already burning too hot.
This all makes so much sense. But here's what I really want to know, DeeAnna. What can we actually do about it? How can we maintain healthy cortisol levels in our busy lives?
The good news is there are several effective strategies. The key is to work with your body's natural cortisol rhythm. Let's start with morning habits. Instead of reaching for coffee first thing, try getting some natural sunlight exposure.
Really? How does that help?
Morning sunlight helps regulate your cortisol rhythm. Even just 10 to 15 minutes can make a difference. It signals to your body that it's time to be alert and active, supporting your natural cortisol peak.
That's such a simple but powerful tip. What other practical strategies can help?
Exercise is another powerful tool, but timing is crucial. Morning or early afternoon exercise typically works best because it aligns with your natural cortisol rhythm. Late evening workouts can elevate cortisol when your body should be winding down.
I've heard that mindfulness and meditation can help with stress. Do these practices actually affect cortisol levels?
They absolutely do. Research shows that regular meditation or deep breathing exercises can lower cortisol levels. Even just 5 minutes of deep breathing can trigger your body's relaxation response.
5 minutes? That seems doable for even the busiest person.
Exactly. And here's another practical tip: meal timing. Irregular eating patterns can disrupt cortisol rhythms. Try to eat your meals at consistent times each day and avoid eating too close to bedtime.
Speaking of bedtime, what about sleep? I imagine that's crucial for cortisol regulation.
Sleep is absolutely vital. The hours between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. are especially important for cortisol regulation. Try to be asleep during this window if possible. And here's something many people don't realize: scrolling on your phone before bed can spike cortisol levels.
Oh, guilty as charged. Why is that?
The blue light from screens can suppress melatonin production and increase cortisol. Plus, the constant stream of information, whether it's work emails or social media, keeps your brain in an alert, stressed state when it should be winding down.
These are all such practical tips. But I'm curious, what about our emotional well being? How does that factor into cortisol regulation?
That's a crucial question. Our emotional state has a direct impact on our cortisol levels. Something as simple as a good laugh can actually lower cortisol levels, while constant worry or negative self talk can keep them elevated.
So, finding joy and maintaining social connections, these aren't just nice to haves, they're actually important for our hormonal health.
Oh, of course. Strong social connections are one of our best buffers against chronic stress. When we spend time with people we trust and feel comfortable with, it actually triggers the release of oxytocin, which helps counteract the effects of cortisol.
That's fascinating. It's like our bodies have built in stress management through connection.
Yes, and this is why isolation can be so detrimental to our health. Even brief, positive interactions, like chatting with a neighbor or calling a friend, can help regulate our stress response system.
This makes me think about how we often pride ourselves on being busy or hustling all the time. It sounds like that might not be as admirable as our culture makes it seem.
That's a powerful observation, Betty. Our culture often glorifies being constantly busy and stressed, but from a biological perspective, it's actually quite harmful. We need to normalize taking breaks and setting boundaries.
What kinds of boundaries would you recommend?
Start with small, manageable ones. Maybe it's not checking work emails after 7 p.m. or blocking out your lunch hour for an actual break instead of working through it. These boundaries help create cortisol recovery periods throughout your day.
Before we wrap up, could you share your top 3 takeaways for our listeners who want to start managing their cortisol levels better?
First, respect your body's natural rhythm. Get morning sunlight, maintain consistent sleep schedules, and time your meals and exercise appropriately. Second, create regular stress breaks throughout your day. Even 5 minutes of deep breathing can help. And third, prioritize genuine social connections and activities that bring you joy.
Those are fantastic, actionable tips. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
Remember that stress isn't inherently bad. It's chronic, unmanaged stress that causes problems. Start with small changes, be consistent, and most importantly, be patient with yourself as you develop new habits. And if you want a natural helper at your side, use a few drops of lavender pure essential oil to aid with restful sleep and relaxation. I'll give some additional resources in the show notes.
Thank you so much, DeeAnna. This has been incredibly enlightening. And to our listeners, remember to check our show notes for a summary of all these practical tips we've discussed today. Until next time, this is Betty on Essentially Soulful, signing off until next time.